Welcome to the Readabout. I read an interesting book this week, Phoenix Rising by Karen Hesse. It is about a nuclear explosion that brings Niall closer to death and life. Powerful, heavy subject, depressing, and I didn't know if I really wanted to read about it. But if you look at the title, Phoenix Rising. Phoenix is a phoenix is a mythological bird that dies and then rises up out of its own ashes to be born again. It's a rebirth. It's moving forward, and there's a positive feeling. And I think that's an appropriate title for this book because it balances out the destruction that occurs with a nuclear explosion. But if we look at the cover art, there's more to it. It looks like this might be the frame of an art picture or maybe the frame of a window. And Niall is the main character. She's 13 years old. She's in a winter coat. She has a backpack, something sticking out of the backpack. There are sheep. She's on a farm. And right here, there's a ripped out section. It looks like somebody just ripped the canvas of the art picture. And inside is a nuclear plant with 2 nuclear reactors. And I'd like for you, because I've kind of wondered about this, and I would like for you to comment in comment section below to tell me why you think they put the nuclear reactor behind the canvas of the actual picture. Why does it look like it's been ripped out? I think that's an interesting part of the picture. And if we look at the steam coming up out of the nuclear reactors, it rises to this pale boy that's pictured at the top. Karen Hesse is a well-known author. She also has won the Newbery Medal Award and for a book, Out of the Dust, which focuses on the Depression. She is known for researching a historical event. It may be controversial, it might be very emotionally difficult, but she does a lot of research and then she breaks it all down to make it easier to understand for children. It's very important for children to understand the events that are going on in the world, but some are so controversial and so scary. It is a challenge to break that information down so that it doesn't terrify them. And another advantage of children's literature, and this is why I love to read children's literature, is it's not a lot to read. You can get this book done quickly, sometimes in a day, maybe 2 days, and adults who don't have time or don't want to read all the description or all the big words can learn a lot about historical events in a short amount of time. Now, this story is about Niall. She's 13 years old, lives on her grandmother's sheep farm because she's an orphan. There's been a nuclear explosion in a town that's not that far away, and that fallout and that radioactive ash just falls on everything, and you can't touch it. The people in, say, 15 to 20 mile radius need to be evacuated. They can't take their clothes with them, they can't take their food with them, they can't take their cars with them because everything has been contaminated. They also have absorbed radiation if they were breathing the air, drinking the water, and so they need to be checked out at the hospital. But after that, they need a long recovery time. Where do they go? They have nothing. And they're not going to be able to sell their homes and make any money on that either because nobody wants to buy a home that's in a radioactive area. So Niall and her grandmother take in 2 evacuees, a mother and her son, 15-year-old Ezra. And this is where the story gets really interesting because it's not only about the radioactive effects on the area and the people, but they have to learn to get along and adjust to the routines of each other when they move into Niall's and her grandmother's house. Ezra, it's amazing. He's only 15 years old, but the wisdom that he gains from going through this difficult experience is tremendous. And Niall also makes a lot of adjustments, getting used to doing extra chores. She takes time out to read to Ezra. And so eventually relationships start building and occurring because they're learning about each other's feelings and they're learning about each other's cultures. And Niall also has a friend who lives nearby, but she hasn't said anything about the evacuees being in their house. Because when something this disastrous happens and people are affected by radiation, other people get scared. They don't want to touch the people who have received the radiation because they're afraid they're going to get it too. Well, if they were breathing in air or they were drinking water or eating food from that area, yes, they would get it. If they were touching books and that radioactive ash had been on the books, yes, you could pick up radiation. But just caring for a person who is trying to recover, the radiation is inside of them, it's not going to be contagious and they're not going to get it. But that is a difficult concept to learn when you've been told otherwise. That fear lasts for a long time. And that is a lot about what this book is about. We all have prejudices, we all have fears, but it's overcoming those things and being able to work together so that we can, Phoenix Rising, so that we can move forward into the future. So this was a very interesting book, and I hope you get a chance to read it. Thanks for watching. Click below if you want to be notified about the next book I read. Keep reading and have a great week.